It's track reviews.
Hey, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you are doing well. It is time for a track review, a very exciting track review, mind you. We're seeing a meeting of the minds on this track. The Scots, Travis Scott and Scott Cudi, a.k.a. Kid Cudi. Yeah. They are forming like Voltron on a brand new track, and from what I understand, due to a recent Kid Cudi social media post, it is likely there is more music to come from these two. This is pretty awesome. This is a great announcement. I imagine Travis Scott is pretty psyched, given that a lot of his early work showed a very, very, very plain, very obvious Kid Cudi influence. So I imagine it's pretty awesome for him to be working with him in this capacity. Travis Scott being the psych rap pioneer that he is, along with Cudi with all the innovations across his career. The collective talents of both of these people on this track should amount to something significant. So, I don't know. Let's just give it a try. I'm done hyping it up. I want to hear it. I want to hear it, damn it. The Scots with the Scots. Let's go. Ba-bam. Damn, that outro is nice. I mean, it does cut into the track pretty abruptly and basically gives the song an excuse to bow out just before the 3-minute mark creeps in. But still, it's a pretty nice series of synth layers, really progressive. I'll say a couple of leads on there kind of cascading over each other in a really beautiful way. Just sounds like something out of a real cool prog synth cut. I will say that I love the dark and detuned instrumentation or samples that kick the track off and play throughout majority of the cut. Some of the shimmering synths too. The instrumental palette, that backdrop is quite nice. There's a good amount of reverb on this track too. Sparse but decent beat and groove. It's pretty much classic Travis Scott production all the way, and the beat is fucking wavy. It's a wavy ass beat. As good in terms of vibe, if not better than many tracks off Astroworld, even with it being as simple as it is. What I will say is that I was a little underwhelmed on the flow front, the lyricism front, the structure front, because we have a Travis Scott passage, we have a Kid Cudi passage, not really a super, super strong hook to make note of. I thought Travis Scott was very much in his zone on this track. Not the best performance I've ever heard from him on a song or anything, but vocally and flow-wise, it felt like pretty typical Travis Scott. Nothing terrible, but nothing amazing either. But then Kid Cudi, I was hoping there would be some kind of change that would complement his style or something instrumentally or sonically that would seem more like a direct contribution from him, but there wasn't. It pretty much stayed in the lane that it started off in. And then when Cudi popped in, rather than finding a way to, I guess, put his own spin on this type of instrumental, I feel like he fell into kind of the typical vocalisms and those ad-libs of just like a regular, I guess, rapper that would typically be cut from sort of Travis Scott's cloth. And I feel like that's just not the best way to go about this track, especially since in doing that, Kid Cudi did sound a little out of his element. Again, especially on those ad-libs. I guess I will say the darkness, the moodiness of the track was certainly complimentary toward Kid Cudi's sound and his typical vibe on a song, but I just felt like Cudi stuck out like a sore thumb. I don't think it's a terrible track. I think it has a lot of good elements to it, and hopefully this project, this pairing has more potential in the future. I guess what I am mostly hoping for now is that if we get more tracks, which I hope we get more tracks, it seems like more of an even fusion between Kid Cudi and Travis Scott. You know, right now this track seems like a Travis Scott track with a Kid Cudi feature, an okay Kid Cudi feature. It doesn't feel like the most even collaboration that I have ever heard. It doesn't. It didn't feel like quite as even as anything off of Kids See Ghosts, in my opinion. To me, many of the tracks off that record very much feel like part Kid Cudi, part Kanye. This to me just felt a little one-sided, and maybe potentially a questionable, first foot forward, I suppose. I don't know how satisfactory this track is going to be to Cudi fans as a collaboration, because it mostly just feels like a Travis Scott song. But those are my thoughts. Again, hook and verses I think could have been stronger, but the vibe, the instrumental, that outro were all really cool, and I still see some potential in what's going on here, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we hear some better stuff than this. Even if you did end up liking this track, which if you did, let me know down in the comments. Did you like this one? Did you hate it? Why? What do you think I should review next? Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Kid Cudi, Travis Scott, the Scotts, forever.